Guest of Honor, Supreme Court Justice Salim Joubran, Mr. Alexander Karpov from the Swiss Friends Association, Dr. Yael Shveka of the French Friends Association, Chairman and members of the board, deans, former deans, distinguished faculty and guests. Good afternoon and welcome to this cornerstone laying ceremony of our future Faculty of Law building. My name is Dr. Tami Harel Ben-Shachar and I have the pleasure of being a member of the Faculty of Law and the Academic Director of the Clinics for Law and Social Change. Our clinics span diverse areas including women's rights, the elderly, marine environment and much more. They give students a wonderful opportunity to reflect on the theory they learn in class with practical legal work. In my work, I see the tremendous benefit in the link between academic research and promoting social change. I firmly believe that our role as a faculty is to combine quality legal education, rigorous legal research, and assume a leadership role in Israeli society. This new building will give us a home, a place in which we can learn, meet, and deliberate. We owe a huge debt to our friends in Switzerland and France who set the ball rolling to make this dream of a faculty building a reality. President Shapira, I know that you are passionately committed to the Faculty of Law and furthering academic research with real practical applications. It is therefore my pleasure to invite you to the podium.
I must say that maybe one of my few attributes is a loud voice. Supreme Court Justice Joubran, Professor Alfred Tauber, Mr. Ami Elon, Alex Karpov of the Swiss Friends Association, Eyal Shvika of the French Friends Association, President-elect Ron Rubin, Professor Ron Rubin, and almost ex-president Amos Shapira, chairman and members of the board of deans, former deans, distinguished faculty, and guests. Good evening, Erev Tov, Masa El Khir. I'm very proud that the day has come that we are laying the cornerstone of the University of Haifa Law Faculty building. It is no secret that this building has been a long time coming, and that is what makes this moment sweeter. Most of you sitting here today know that the Faculty of Law much better than I do, as you are an integral part of it. However, during my time as president of the university, I've also gotten to know the faculty, and I think this is a fitting time to share some of my insights with you. And in other way, what I am going to do now is public relation to the Faculty of Law and to the university. I've discovered that the Faculty of Law is not only excellent academically, but is also very rich in the wealth and quality of its faculty members. These men and women who make up the faculty are its heart and soul. They have made it their mission to educate their students at the highest level and instill in them a social conscience that I dare say is not always present in other institutions. The faculty members are not only gifted researchers in the field of law, but they are also gifted teachers who aim truly and meaningfully educate the students who grace these halls. The Faculty of Law, I have come to discover, is a faculty that has a very set social agenda. In fact, our Master of Ceremony this afternoon, Dr. Tami Harel Ben-Shachar, who introduced herself as the academic director of our legal clinics at the university, is a fine example of this agenda in action. The legal clinics are not only a fine teaching tool to our students, but they also serve as a locomotive for social change. Permit me to quote from what the Dean, Professor Gad Barzilai, wrote on his address on the faculty web page. At least, Gadi, I read it. We believe that law cannot and should not be disengaged from real-life challenges, society, history, culture, economy, and politics. Law has been formed and is being shaped through those forces, and it should strive to shape them in order to promote and maintain justice and democracy. To me, this is a very essence of the University of Haifa Faculty of Law. I look forward to the day when the new home of the faculty is standing, allowing it to grow and thrive further, letting it shape the minds of our students and continue to make its positive impact on our lives. May this future home be blessed with a creativity and inspiration, and may all those who pass its doors be fulfilled and blessed with success. At this time, I wish to convey my gratitude to the anonymous donor from Switzerland, a gift raised with the assistance of the Swiss Friends of the University, as well as the funds raised by our French friends. These funds made it possible to initiate this important project, and we hope that more funds will be raised in the future in order to see it through to completion. And I commit myself that in the coming 3 months, as long as I'm the president, I will continue, Gadi, to work on it. I often say that we are as good as our friends and supporters surrounding us. Thank you. Toda rabba and shukran lakum.
Thank you, President Shapira, for your support. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's the moment when we symbolically lay the foundations. May I invite Professor Barzilai, Dean of the Faculty, to come up. May I also ask Vice President and Director General, Mr. Baruch Marzan, to join him. Mr. Marzan is responsible for developing, designing, and overseeing the university's physical development program with his excellent team at the Engineering, Infrastructure, and Security Department. Please. Okay, Professor Eli Salzberger and Professor Niva Elkin-Koren, please join us. These are our former deans as well, joining the current dean and Mr. Marzan in placing the scroll. This scroll will be placed in the actual place where the building will be built. For now, this is a symbolic placement.
רגע, תסתכל עליי תוך כדי. עוד אחת, אליי.
נבי, רגע, איפה הג'קוזי?
אליי, נבי, אחת, אליי.
זה, לא שמעת מה אמרתי?
לא, כולם, לא, עשינו.
בעוד שעה הבניין הבא. זה לקחת תמונה של כולנו?
כן, רק שנייה אחת, רגע. בואו ביחד, בבקשה, כולם.
First of all, thanks very much, Tami. Dear board members, dear faculty members, dean guests, dear Justice Jubran, and the management of University of Haifa. Let me begin first of all with acknowledgements, because Amos Shapira, without his devotion, it couldn't happen. I often talked about the issue with the provost, David Faraji, with Fred Tauber, I would like to mention Yariv Zultan, the vice president. He was very patient to me. You know, I could have sent him messages even during a family vacation, and Yariv is integral part of that success. I would obviously his staff, Michael Messinger and Rachel Kaberman and all the staff. I would like to acknowledge Ami Ayalon and the Friends of University of Haifa in France and Switzerland. Baruch Marzan is always here to help and in advice, and I really want to thank him as well. We are only halfway. I mean, we are not there yet. But we have a significant part of the money, and hopefully President-elect Ron Rubin and the President Amos Shapira will continue to drive and to lead the effort to complete the law building. Now, building is not only aggregation of stones, not only an aggregation of blocks, it is a soul. For me, it's a soul of a faculty. It's a venue for debating, for making research, for making scholarship, or for teaching. And our conditions now are quite unforgiving to those kinds of aims, and we would like really to improve ourselves in the near future. Now, let me tell you a bit about the faculty, because a building, it's not a target for itself. This is a building for one of the best faculties of law in Israel and a top international faculty. We have by now 1,000 students at LLB, LLM, and PhD level. We have 7 research centers. We are a leading faculty, international speaking, in cyber. And soon enough, we are going to be recognized as a national center of cyber, led by Niva Elkin-Koren, Tal Jarsky, Amnon Reichman, and some other members of the law faculty. And we are very strong in private law, international law, commercial law. We are a very strong faculty. Now, Amos was teaching me in the last 4 years that whatever I say, I should prove. So we had an international visiting committee established by the Malag, by the Council of Higher Education. Now, the members, just a few examples: Edward Rock, the dean at University of Pennsylvania, Professor Silvia Ferrari from Italy, Stuart Schwab from Cornell Law School, Lucy White from Harvard University Law School, and David Schnitzer, the legendary dean from Columbia Law School. Now, the conclusion of the committee, after 2 days of thorough examination and after we submitted a thorough report, has been as following, quotation: "The University of Haifa Faculty of Law is a very impressive academic institution with a strong faculty and a strong body of students. It delivers a top quality common law legal education while successfully pursuing a distinctive mission to be the law school for the northern part of Israel. Yet, the committee says, our most significant specific recommendation is that the University of Haifa School work with the law faculty to build a new dedicated building for the Faculty of Law." So I think that this is a very important topic, to have a building, an excellent building for an excellent faculty. We are talking about a building of about 31,000 square foot, and it will have about 95 offices for all our professors, student consuls, legal clinics, research centers, and obviously it will also have 7 classrooms, including one auditorium. Tami, who is the master of the ceremony today, is a representative of our young generation. And I think that people who are doing leading positions in institutions should never ask themselves what I will benefit from that. I will not be a dean once we enter into the law building. This is mainly and primarily and predominantly and distinctively for our young generation of scholars who will spend, like Tami, most of their academic career in the new building. Last and not least, I would like to emphasize a building for me, it's the future. It's not the present, certainly not the past. And hopefully this new building, and the target is to have it ready, completely ready by 2020, the law building will foster more research, more legal education, more justice, and more rule of law for the northern part of Israel, but also for Israel at all. So thanks very much for coming, and have a nice day. Thanks, Tami.
I invite Professor Fania Salzberger.
Dear colleagues, esteemed board members, friends, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here merely in order to present to you the very Honorable Supreme Court Justice Salim Jubran. I cannot think of a better person, a better friend, and better Israeli public persona to be standing here in front of you today. Born in Haifa, educated in Haifa and Akko, and then graduating in law from the Hebrew University Law School, only because the Haifa University Law School did not exist at the time. Isn't that right, Salim? And becoming a district court judge here in Haifa, and then in 2003, 2004, first visiting and then permanently Supreme Court Justice at the Supreme Court of Israel. Justice Jubran has been a friend of this university and of our law faculty all along. He is part of the board of directors of Haifa's Jewish Arab Center. He is a member, has been a member of the board of trustees. He has, of course, an honorary doctorate from this university. And not least, he is deeply involved as a teacher, as a friend, as a like-minded member of the community of the Haifa Faculty of Law. May I also say on a personal note that I had the honor of hosting Supreme Court Justice Jubran as a guest of the Israel Studies Chair, which I held at Monash University in Melbourne. And Justice Jubran was utterly wonderful. I'm sorry, but I have to say this out loud. Being a full representative of what the state of Israel ought to become. Sharp, analytical, and critical where criticism is due, and extremely open-minded, pluralistic, and a true believer in the future of Israeli society. I'm very honored to welcome this evening Supreme Court Justice Salim Jubran.
Thank you, Professor Salzberger, for your nice presentation. I hope that you said the truth, all the truth, and nothing but the truth. President of the university, Mr. Amos Shapira, the elected president, Professor Ron Rubin, Director General of the university, Mr. Baruch Marzan, Dean of the Faculty of Law, Professor Gad Barzilai, President of the District Court of Haifa, Judge Yossi Elron, law faculty members, dear guests, good evening, Erev Tov, Masa al Khair. I am glad to be here with you this evening, and I am so glad also that you are all here. There is a story about former President Ronald Reagan. he once was invited to Alcatraz prison in San Francisco. All of us knows this prison, not because we were there, we saw the movie. Then, after finishing his visit, he was asked by his advisors, Mr. President, you should say something to the prisoners. Then he said, what? I can tell them. I can't get them free. But at the end of the day, he agreed and he said, dear prisoners, I am so glad that you're all here. Of course, I am glad not from the reasons of Ronald Reagan. I also I'll try to be short, like Henry VIII, when he used to say to one of his 6 wives, don't worry, I'll not keep you too long. I am humbled and honored to be here today to celebrate the cornerstone laying for the new building of the Faculty of Law at Haifa University, donated by friends of the university from Switzerland and France. I would like to thank the members of the Board of Governors, whose vision, leadership, and dedication have been instrumental in advancing this project and in continuing the Make Haifa University a world-renowned center for education and research. It has been my pleasure to serve as a member of the Board of Governors at Haifa University, and I look forward to continuing to do so. I also fondly remember my great experience teaching in this law faculty of the university for about a decade. Since its foundation back in 1963 by Mayor Abahushi, Haifa University has become one of the leading institutions of higher education in Israel. From its humble beginnings, with less than 500 students attending the university in its first year, today more than 18,000 students attend various programs across 8 faculties, including humanities, social sciences, law, welfare, health sciences, natural sciences, education, and management. The new building will foster Haifa University's continued expansion and progress and will strengthen the Faculty of Law's reputation throughout Israel. Since its establishment in 1992, the faculty at Haifa University has quickly become one of Israel's leading law programs. The Faculty of Law in Haifa University is characterized by its diverse, outstanding, and excellent scholars who collectively explore the meaning of the rule of law in Israel and in different countries throughout the world. Its overhanging philosophy that law cannot and should not be disengaged from real-life challenges fosters a community of students and scholars who strive to promote justice and democracy. Haifa University is the most pluralistic institution of higher education in Israel, and this is reflected in the Faculty of Law's students, comprised of Jews and Arabs, who come from all parts of the Israeli society. The university and the Faculty of Law are beacons that demonstrate how research, teaching, and learning can take place in an environment that promotes mutual inclusion, tolerance, and respect. They are a statement to the power of a strong legal education to bring together many different people who all share a common interest in promoting human rights and democracy. Haifa University and the Faculty of Law are examples to the rest of Israel that Jews and Arabs can peacefully coexist, learn, and work with one another towards achieving a common good. Haifa University is the foremost center for cooperation and mutual understanding between Jews and Arabs in Israel. Students at the Faculty of Law will be better lawyers and citizens for having shared their experiences with one another in an academic environment that demands critical thought around issues of equality and human rights. We often say that Israel is a democracy founded on the principles of equality and human rights for all its inhabitants. Although, in practice, there is not yet full equality for Arab citizens of Israel, I believe that the advancement of respect and tolerance at Haifa University and the Faculty of Law will help to foster a new generation of lawyers who will put these words into practice and who will strive to create a more equal society for the whole of Israel. I am honored today to participate in this important ceremony of laying the cornerstone for the new building that will provide a dignified home for both students and staff scholars. Dean Barzilai has said, there is no humanity without law and no humans without human rights. I could not agree more. The law is necessary to our democracy, but it is equally imperative that we promote respect for human rights, and the Faculty of Law at Haifa University is an outstanding example of how an academic environment that promotes peaceful coexistence in turn strengthens our democracy and our multicultural society. It is my hope that this new building will not only provide a warm home for the Faculty of Law, but will continue to foster an academic environment that strengthens our legal profession and our nation through the promotion of peaceful coexistence among Jews and Arabs in Israel through tolerance and mutual respect. Congratulations to all the students, scholars, professors, and staff at the Faculty of Law on the groundbreaking of the new building. I wish you all continued success in your legal education and in your legal careers. And I implore you to continue the hard work of promoting equality and human rights that Haifa University and the Faculty of Law respect. Thank you.
Thank you, Justice Jubran. It's a privilege and a great pleasure to hear you speak. You're an inspiration to so many of us. Ladies and gentlemen, there is one very important part of the ceremony remaining. This building has begun to materialize thanks to our generous friends who had the vision to ensure it got off the ground. Mr. Alexander Karpov, together with his colleagues on the Swiss Friends Association and Dr. Eyal Shveka and the French Friends Association, have set an example of commitment over and above the norm to support the university. Both are also members of the International Board of Governors, and we are indebted to their tremendous efforts. They have begun the process, and we are continuing to strive to raise the remaining funds needed to complete the construction of this building. Mr. Karpov and Dr. Shveka, may I ask you both to come and unveil the plaque, please? May I also call upon Dean Barzilai, Justice Jubran, and Baruch Marzan to join them by the plaque for a photograph. Mr. Karpov and Dr. Shveka, please unveil. Wonderful, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your glasses to the new Faculty of Law building. L'chaim. Mr. Karpov, may I invite you to say a few words on behalf of the Swiss Friends Association, please.
Justice Jubran, President Shapira, electing President Barak, Professor Barzilai. Dear friends, dear guests, it's a great honor for me to represent today Swiss association at this cornerstone laying ceremony for the Faculty of Law building. We, as a Swiss Friends of Association, is quite young organization. We just started our operation some 3 years ago under leadership of our heart and soul, Bianca Simon. And we feel our mission is in two major steps. First of all, to raise donations and financial support for the University of Haifa, where we had already great success, thanks to amazing job of Bianca. And secondly, we feel our mission to support and to promote the uniqueness of this university, being the sample of be dynamic and growing and developing, and also to be a sample of mutual respect, not just in this beautiful city, not just in this beautiful country, but also to being sample of mutual respect worldwide. If we talk to people about the University of Haifa, we try to touch their hearts in thinking about the academic excellence and thinking about the students and professors here. There is no secret that academic excellence was always the very major part and actually irreversible, inseparable part of Israelis. And we, as a Swiss association, we strongly believe this education is one of the major factors which will strengthen the community here in the country and the state of Israel. And also, of course, the students and professors. We, as a Swiss Friends, strongly believe that the students and professors, those energy and talent, will perpetuate the vitality and the growth of the university. Dear Professor Barzilai, allow me, in the name of Swiss Friends, wish you a lot of success and great achievements in your new building. Mazel tov. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Karpov. Dr. Eyal Shveka, may I invite you also to come up and speak on behalf of the French Friends Association.
Thank you very much. Usually at 6 o'clock, it's as a lawyer in France, my second day of work starts. And now I was disturbed by some, I guess, French or maybe Israeli wine. So I will try to do my best. I want to tell you that today is a very, very important day, and from the perspective of the French Friends Association. As a member of the board for the last 12 years, it's the second time I participate in an inauguration of a building. Last time was the Kluger building, the Faculty of Education, and today is the Faculty of Law. I think you can see from this lapse of time that today is really a special moment that we need all of us to enjoy, and I saw all the successive deans of Haifa University for the last 24 years fighting to have a building here on campus, insisting on having it on campus because they want to benefit from the magnificent library we have, the Nazarian Library, which is an amazing library, maybe one of the best in the world, and also to benefit with the interaction with all the departments. We have the economy, the psychology, and the business school. I feel a lot of emotion because Madame Lise Lederstein, that contributed with her estate to this building, was deported during the Shoah and lost her son at a young age. Madame Lise Lederstein loved Israel and its youth. I want to say that Haifa University, for me, I participated one day in a class and I saw the magnifique exchange, the high level, already some 15 years ago, between Jews, Arabs, Druze, and it's really amazing. And today we are here in the Middle East, and maybe I can, make a wish, because as a person that studied a lot of years in the French academia, we have very strong links with Lebanon, with Egypt. And maybe Haifa University, which is in the north, maybe one day we'll have the pleasure to host Lebanese professors and Egyptian professors. And this is very, very important in order to integrate Israel in the Middle East. I would like finally to finish with a small comment of thank you. Thank you to Daniel Shvika, which is the French representative of the association. I would like also to thank the French Friends Executive Committee, Mr. Jules Bloch and Mr. Raymond en Bourget that provide us the support in order to continue and to hope to see you again in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you to our friends for investing in this faculty and also in Israel. US President Lyndon Johnson once said that the only real road to progress for free people is through the process of law. This is something we hold dear in our faculty, and this progress will be made possible by this wonderful new building in this amazing, beautiful spot. This concludes the ceremony, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for sharing this moment with us. The buses for the hotel leave shortly from across the road, and I wish you a very pleasant evening. Thanks.